Hi guys, welcome back. In previous session, we have seen how to use the core data, what are the different components it has, how to save the data, how to fetch the data by using single entity. Today we are going to see multiple entities, means multiple tables and relationship between those two tables. Here I'm going to have two tables, and one is a schools table, another one is a students table. In one school, there will be a number of students. So one student is part of one school. Basically, multiple students are part of one school. In one school contains many people, many students. So this is one and this is many. We can establish a relationship between the schools table and the students table. The relation is one to many. One school can contains multiple students. Okay, I can create one more school. It contains a number of students. Okay, here one to many. And if you see, from school I can add one student, school add student. From the student I can add school. For the student I can assign the school. Student, you go to particular school. So that we can access from student I can access school, from school I can access student. This is called inverse relationship. Here it is inverse relationship. Arrow is this side, arrow is also this side. Means from school is pointing to student and student is pointing to school. Student is associated with the school. School is associated with the student. If you want, we can go for inverse relationship, or else we can go into single direction. Single relationship also we can have. Means only from school you can add the student. If you go this kind of relationship, single way. Both the ways means inverse. Okay, in this case I can have from student to school I can have one to one. One student is associated with the one school. From school to students, one school associated with the multiple students. Okay, I can have one to one from the school to student to school, and school to students I can have one to many. I can have n number of schools, so I am having n number of students. Out of n number of students, first half students goes to one school, second half school goes to students goes to another school. This is how we first of all we need to decide which kind of relationship we need. Do we need inverse relationship, or do we need one to many or one to one? Based upon our requirement, we have to decide that. Let me write. Let me take a new project. Relationships are very, very important. Core data relationships. Build it once. What's another? As usual, we got a XC data model. We have one DB manager class, right? I'll try to use the same DB manager. This is the DB manager. Show in Finder. Instead of writing it from the scratch again, I'll use this. Play with core data. Here, drag and drop. Copy. Okay. Here the model name is whatever model I got here. Core data relationships. I don't need all this thing. If you remember the previous class, we have removed all the code which is related to the core data from the app delegate and kept in separate folder. Yeah, perfect. Which students we have? Okay, let it be. We do not have student entity. Let's create student entity. two entities I need. One is student, another one is school. Student and school. In the student, I'm going to add a few properties, name and roll number. Name is string, roll number is integer. In the school, I can add some properties like this is name of the school, string, address of the school. If you want, we can add one more field. Okay, I don't make it complicated. Go to editor style. We're having student and school. There is no relationship here. There is no relationship. We can add the relationship. Go here, school. From the school, I'm adding a relationship, students, and who is the destination. From the school, I am establishing a relationship that is called student. The destination is students, and the relationship name is students. And go to student. From the student, I can add relationship my school. It is school is the destination. We can have the inverse. See, without inverse, what happens? With inverse, what happens? Basically, there are two relationships. If you clearly observe, from school, it is pointing to student. From the student, it is pointing to school. We have not specified whether it is one to many, one to one. Let's specify that. From the school to students, go here, specify one to many. Where is that? Select the relationship. I don't see that. Why? Okay. Go here. From the school, students relationship. Here it is one to one. Make it one to many. And see, there are two arrows. Means school contains n number of these objects. This object here is student objects. Whereas the student contains only one property, that is school, my school. And if you see, these two are two entities which are having two different directions of relationships. I want to maintain only one relationship, students, inverse I made. Only one relationship from school, I can set students, school, take this student, add this student, add this student. From the students, I can also access school. I can also access school. That's it. Inverse. Sometimes we need inverse, sometimes we don't need inverse. If you're having two relationships, we don't need inverse. If you're having, if you want to have a single relationship which works as multiple, then you need to go for the inverse. Now everything is ready. Let's build it. Build file. What is that? Save context method is not there. Where do we have save context method? DB manager, right? DB manager share dot save context. Now build it. Perfect. Now let's create schools and students. Go to storyboard. First of all, I will show you what are the different classes getting generated. Editor, create NS manager object subclass, CoreData relationships, student and schools. For both of them, I need, first of all, we need to do one thing. Here, make it manual. Here also, make it manual. Go to editor. One more thing. Is it inside the, it is outside the folder. You can make that inside the folder. Remove, move to trash. Editor, ns manage object subclass, go to select student and school. Here, go to folder, inside the folder and create, and see what you got here. School, what are the different properties it has? It has name, it has address, it has students. Students is collection, right? N number of students. So it is given in a set. Whereas in the student, I have some properties that is name, roll number, my school. Only one school, right? So it is school. Based upon your requirement, you need to create the relationships. You need one-to-one or one-to-many. One-to-many, if you create, you'll get the in a set as the relationship. Relationship is also a property, and it is one-to-one. You'll get a simple one object. Now go to storyboard. First of all, I'll add all the schools. What I do is I'll keep this in navigation controller, editor, embed navigation controller. Here, I'll drag and drop a table view. Set the constants 0, 0, 0, 0. Drag and drop a table view cell. Set the cell identifier. School cell. This is school cell. I'll take a bar button item. This is add school. When I click add here, take one more view controller. This is a school entry form where I enter school name, address, and there is one more thing, establish or something. Enter school name, enter address, enter here, and save. And when user clicks on the table view cell, I need to display the school information from this button. Give the connection. It is show. And I need one more view controller. That is students list, schools list is here. Students list view controller. Is the one from the view controller I'm giving show, and it is going to be students list view controller. I also need bar button item. When I click on it, I need to add one student. It is going to be add student. Again, this is going to be list. That is table view. give the constants 0, 0, 0, 0, and tell this is student cell, table view, delegate and data source. Similarly, this is students table view, select, set, delegate, and a data source. We do not have classes for these two. Let's create classes. CoreData class, school entry view controller, and I need one more, that is students list view controller. Now set the classes. This is view controller. This is school entry view controller. This is students list view controller. Whenever I click here, let's see the connections, data source. Let's reset. Previously, we have not specified the class name of the students list view controller. Similarly, this is there. Perfect. Now go here, assistant editor, set method for say of school, add school is an action. And also we need outlets for name text field, address text field, established text field. For student, there is no entry form. Let it be. I don't want entry form for that. Schools entry view controller. This is view controller. Extension view controller. It is UTW delegate and data source. What does it going to contain? It is going to contain schools. Where? Schools. Empty. Now here, number of rows in section. Now return schools dot count. How many schools are there? Those many. Count. Why? Schools, not school. Schools dot count. Similarly here, cell for row index path. W.dq reusable cell with identifier. The identifier is school cell dot text label dot let a school. How to get the school? Schools of index path dot row. Cell dot text label dot text equal to a school dot name. Cell dot detail text label dot text equal to a school dot address. You're having only two labels. Return cell. If there is no cell, create UAW cell. This is what we need. And did select row index path. When user clicks on did select row index path, I need to take user to the user to the students view controller. Okay, I'll take user there, and we have a method add school. Okay, this is fine, and same we need in the students list view controller. Here I'm going to have where students. Students a student dot name. We're having a student dot, we're having roll number. It is string, right? Take it inside the braces. Roll number. What's done? Perfect. When user clicks on add student, what we need to do? Here is that one method. Main view controller. Set the cell type is details title, subtitle. Similarly, this one also subtitle. For this, there is no action. This is going to be add student. Go here, students list view controller, add student. Perfect. Student school entry view controller. We're having add school. Add school means I need to create a school. Let name equal to name text field dot text. And let address equal to address text field dot text. We also have established. Let year equal to what I have. What is the file? Established dot text field. I'm not taking that because we're having only two fields to display the text in the cell. That is text label and detailed text label. Two are enough right now. Let new school of DB manager shared manager dot context and set the data. New school dot name equal to name. New school dot what is that? Address equal to address. And DB manager dot save context. DB manager dot shared manager dot save context. I am creating new student here, basically saving the data. And what I need to do in the, I'm adding the student here. Cannot as an available to string to address. This address I'm putting. And in the schools list view controller, what I need to do, as in when I come here, I need to refresh the data. View did appear. And view did appear. I'm refreshing the data. How to refresh? I need to fetch the all the schools and need to display. Save it. DB manager dot shared manager fetch. I have students method. In previous session, we created DB manager contains students. Now, student is a subclass of NS managed object, right? I can make it a NS to make it generic managed object. Here I'll pass entity name, ask entity name. NS managed object. Here entity name dot description. I'll explain it. And here instead of students we get NS managed object array. That's it. Earlier we had a method like fetch students. Now in this session I need to fetch schools. So what we need to do, we need to write one more method here. Fetch students is one method and fetch schools is another method. If I have fetch address table, I need to write fetch address. I don't want to do like that. I want to write a method which fetches whatever information we pass, whatever object we pass. If I pass school, I need to fetch all the schools. If I pass a student, I need to fetch all the students like that. Okay. Now see the error. We don't have fetch. What is what I want to fetch? I want to fetch schools. Okay. I am converting that everything as schools. Schools array. Perfect. Sorry. Schools array. Or else what I can put is if schools, if I get the schools, I am assigning those schools to schools. These schools, what I am requesting here, database manager fetches to schools. If I get schools, assign that to here, optional binding. That schools I am assigning here. Okay, perfect now. Everything is perfect. What is this? Dot type we need to pass. Okay. DB manager, where is the DB manager? DB manager. To mention this. Try this. What is this? Yep. Build failed. See what's wrong. Here. School object. School object. Is it? Cannot connect a left type school to expect school type. Yep. Perfect. This is how we write generic programming. Just build it and see. Perfect. Now what we need to, what I'm doing here in VDD appear itself, I am checking are there any schools. If there are any schools, load it and reload. We need to write the reload logic. Here I'm writing table view reload data. When it should be reloaded when there are elements. Schools list view dot reload data, where schools list view a table view IP outlet weak, where similarly I need for the students also. Students list view. Go to main storyboard. This is schools list view. Connections. Here I see schools list view. Perfect. Similarly, go here Select this students list view. Run it. In DB Manager, whatever code by default we get in the app delete, I just copied and pasted. You can see what I have here. I have only two things.